What's going on, everybody? Please hold. Gotta adjust some things here. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another live stream. Hope you're all doing good today. Hope you're enjoying your Thursday. Is that the day? Yes, I'm losing track. Thursday. As you can see, it is almost April already. Time has flown. Can't believe we're almost in the 4th month of the year, which is absolutely insane to me. But regardless, hope everybody's having a good week. Don't forget to, if you're new to the channel, click subscribe. We'd love to see you guys in the next live stream, or at the very least, you'll be able to catch the next video, which I am trying to get at least a live stream or video out once or twice or 3 times a week. So would hate for you to miss that. And of course, if you're new or if you have any questions, please drop any questions or comments in the comment section, because I do read them all, and generally I answer them all as well, so don't be a stranger. El Bosch, what's going on? He says, what's up, guys? Hope all is going well. Everything is good on this end. Hope you're doing well. Toby says, Toby Entertainment, welcome back to the stream. He says, I sold my SHIB when it was at its highest 2 days ago, and I'm waiting for the best time to reinvest that money. Awesome. Glad to hear that. I really love hearing that feedback. Of course, any feedback's good feedback, and even if you made a mistake, hearing that feedback and, you know, just us discussing it and figuring out how we can correct for next time is good. But love to see when you guys have been, not just on this channel, but watching other people's channels, learning how to trade, learning how to read the charts, and then executing and having successful, profitable trades. That's awesome. So far, we've got a couple votes on the poll before we get into the discussion here. The poll, in case you haven't answered, go ahead, comment section, and put your vote in. But are you buying now? Are you selling? Or are you just holding? And most people are just holding right now to see what happens. And I understand, I do respect that. Let's see. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the chart, and let's get a couple indicators up right now so that we can see where we're at. And we'll do a little bit of technical analysis, and we'll talk about why the price is doing what it's doing. Is this just like the holiday playlist? The holiday lo-fi? That was not my intention. Okay. Anyway, let's take a look at the chart here, and we're going to notice a couple things. So just as a reminder, anytime that you're trying to do any kind of technical analysis, you should always do from the outside in. So start from higher time frames, get a good big picture overview of what's going on, and then go to smaller time frames to see what's going on just more recently, focusing on more recent activity. And don't forget, click that like button, guys, if you're enjoying the content. So basically, on the daily time frame here, I've got a couple different indicators up. So what I'm using here is the exponential moving average, and I'm using the simple moving average. And the time frames I'm using are 200, 100, and 50. Now 200 is the most important one. That 200 MA, EMA, or SMA holds the most weight, and then the 150 are just additional, relatively high time frame moving averages, but they're not quite as important as the 200. But I like to have them on at least every once in a while, so I can see what most people are looking at. The key to making successful trades, whether that's looking for good buy points or sell points, or looking for a good point to short at and to cover at, is understanding what everyone else is going to see as a good buy or sell point, so that you can execute when the majority of people do. And that way you don't buy and then the price keeps dumping, and you don't sell and the price keeps going up on you. You want to execute your trade where most people will, enough to where it will cause the price to reverse its trend. So let's see. This song's a little hype as well. Maybe this one will be better. So if we take a look at the chart here, there's a couple things you'll see. For now, I'll just have the exponential moving averages up. And what you can see here is the 200 EMA is right here at about 45,000. And below that, we have the 100 here at about 43 and the 50 at about 42. So as you can tell, we've blown past those already. So on the way up, we did run into this 45,000 level of resistance. You can see some consolidation occurred right here on the daily time frame. And then once we broke above this and we held above and people got confident and saw, okay, we have enough momentum to keep passing and blowing through resistance, we really took off. And you can see this massive green candle here as everybody just decided to buy in. We had excitement, hype, and then FOMO buys up here towards the top. But as you can see, we did stall out. We formed a little bit of a flag pattern here, which you can see a little bit better on the lower time frames. So if I went to something like the 4-hour time frame here, you can see this consolidation right here. And then we broke out the bottom. We did find support here at the recent level of support where we bounced a little bit. We kind of retested that 48 area, and it did not hold support, so we ended up selling off pretty hard. So that's one perspective to look at it as. Now if you go back to the daily time frame, and let me just get rid of the indicators, it becomes a lot more clear. Now you can see there's this trend channel that we've had here for a while on the daily time frame, where you can see overall support trending on a diagonal here, and overall resistance as well trending on a diagonal at pretty much the same trajectory. So that means that people are looking at this the same way that we are. If we were to do a Webull, by the way, this is Webull, and they are running a promotion right now. So if you have any interest in using this platform, if you like the charting, there is a link in the description, I believe, that will take you there. If not, I can grab you one, so just ask, and I can get you a link, a referral link that will get us both free stocks. So anyway, you can see this overall trend channel here. We've got support, we've got resistance, and it's trending in an upward diagonal direction here. It started right here. You can see there was resistance consolidation here, and then support, resistance, like I said, support, resistance, support, and we're kind of bouncing around on that upward trajectory. Now, if all continues at this rate of speed, you can see that by 2024, the price is going to be somewhere in between 46,000 and 85,000. But that doesn't tell us a whole lot, does it? But you could just see here, overall, without us doing anything crazy to the bottom side or to the top side, we're in this channel here for now. This is where we're overall going to find support. Overall, we're going to find resistance. Now, in between there's a horizontal level of support and resistance that we noticed. You could see a lot of consolidation here. Here there was support. Here there was support. Resistance, a little bit of support. Resistance, support, support, resistance. And sure enough, that meant that once we pulled back, if we were going to bounce off this diagonal support line, if we did make it up, our first major level of resistance was going to be, first of all, in this area. You could see a lot of resistance here. But then if we broke that 45 level, our next spot was right around that 47, 48 area. And then if we broke that, it would be about 52, because that's the next area you can see here horizontally. This is pretty much the next common stopping point. We had stoppage here, we stopped there around here, and here we stopped there, and around here we found support in that general area. So we would just say 51, 52, maybe 52.5 is probably where we're going to find resistance if we break through 48. But 48 was the hard point that we needed to get through to get to 52. And so for the previous couple days here, if we go to a lower time frame, you can see that we got to 48, rejected, made it back to 48, rejected, and a whole lot of consolidation between this area. The 47,000 level support and 48,000 level resistance. And we just kept trying it. There was a lot of buying pressure, a lot of hype, people thinking, all right, maybe this is the reversal. I'm going to keep buying and trying to, and maybe it's going to be a matter of time and we're just going to break through it. But you can see here, we kept trying and trying. We started losing some steam here as the highs continued to get lower. So the same lows, but lower highs, that's usually not the best sign. And then we ended up breaking out of the bottom here. And so that's where we are now. Support at 47,000 did not hold, which kind of signifies a lot. We did not hold support at 47, even though we tried, and we broke through the bottom. And because of that, everyone panicked and is starting to sell off, and the price is starting to dump. Now, if we bring up the EMA, I mean, you could see here that we're on the 2-hour time frame now, but you can see on the 4-hour time frame, we're finding support right around the 50 EMA. And that's why I like to have these indicators up, because they tell you what potential stopping areas are. Now, the lower the amount of time that it's averaging in, the weaker the support. So this is only 50. It's not 100 or 200. So it is a support, but it's going to be a weak support according to the indicator. This one would be even stronger, and this one would be strongest. So yes, we are holding here, but does it mean that just because we slowed down and stopped here, paused here, that we're going to hold and then go back up? No. The 50 EMA, especially on the 4-hour time frame, not the daily time frame, is not extremely strong. So this is an expected bounce. If you wanted to take a chance at it, this would be a potential buy spot, but it does not mean, this indicator is not strong enough to say there's probably going to be a reversal. It's just not that strong. So in my opinion, if we're just looking at indicators here for potential levels of support, I'm thinking we're probably going to end up down to either anywhere between 42,000, which is the 200 EMA on the 4-hour, and 44. If I look at the daily time frame to get an additional perspective, I can see 44 is where the 200 EMA is on the daily time frame, and then right around 40, 43, 42 is where the other two EMAs are. So this general area is where I would expect to see a solid reversal based off the exponential moving average indicator. And I would feel more comfortable about getting a bounce down in this area to clear out all the people that are bearish and get a really solid bounce. All right. What's going on, Hennessy? Welcome back to the stream. Rafi, good to see you, man. Thanks for hanging out today. We are trying something a little different with the green screen. Let me know how you feel about that. If you do like it or don't. I think it's pretty cool, but am open to feedback. So anyway, that's where we are, guys. Now, if we switch to a different indicator here, so we go to the simple moving average instead of the exponential, because there are people that use the simple moving average, and we get rid of some of these lines that we just drew, let's get a slightly different perspective from the simple moving average instead of the exponential. So as you can see, this here is the simple moving average, 200. This is the 100, and this is the 50. Now, if you had this indicator up, you can see that we actually hit a top right at the simple moving average 200 EMA, almost perfectly. It was sitting here at about 48.3, and we stopped at 48.225 before we rejected. Now, in the Discord group, we talk about these things and we discuss technicals. By the way, if you want to join the Discord group, the link is in the description. It is for a limited time free to join. So just click on the link and you'll be in. The only catch is it is not a full membership, so you can read and follow along with all my updates and all my predictions and everything. But if you want to like ask questions and stuff, you do have to join and be a full member, but that is optional. So at least join for free and see what's going on. All right. But you can see that in here, we're talking about technicals and everything. And even on Twitter, I let everybody know. But I told everybody 48.3K is what I'm looking at as the potential sell area. Right in that area is where I'm looking at as the resistance. And so that's going to be the potential area to sell. And then on Twitter, which is another good place to find me, if you just look here, March 28th at 2:55 p.m., I said selling. And I let everybody know that this was the point I was looking at as the sell point, and I even went short. And then some people asked, why are you selling? And I said, Bitcoin 48K is resistance. If we break through and above, and hold above it, I'll look to re-enter. But as of now, it's going to be the sell spot. And so where were we? Let's take a look here. Just go back historically. Where were we March 28th at around that time? Let's see. Just so you guys know I'm not lying to you. This is the 31st. So let me just scroll back a bit. All right, here we go. This is March 28th. And you can see, well, this is in military time, so I'm having some trouble kind of reading that. But I think I posted right around here is when I said 40, I said I'm selling. It was right around this area right here. We were just making a run up to 48. And I didn't even wait for 48.3. I believe I sold here and I was looking for a re-entry. Now, Bitcoin did pull back to the 100 EMA on the 5-minute time frame, or SMA, and then it moved up to 48K and it broke above it. But the key is not just to buy the breakout, the initial breakout, but to look for some pullbacks to support, look for it to hold at that price for a decent amount of time to instill confidence in you that it's not just going to fall back under 48 and lose steam. And so if you just waited a little bit, you could see, you know, bounce number 1, okay, bounce number 2, we fell back under 48. And then we hit 48 here, cleared it for just a millisecond, and then we sold off and we sold off pretty hard here, back down to 46. Then for the rest of the day, we consolidated, we made some moves up. Here at the 48,000 level, we gave it a try again. You can see we broke above it with just little wicks of candles here. There was no significant move above it. We kept rejected again, and we just lost steam from then on out, all right? And so that's why it's important. If you're not super confident with technical analysis and fundamental analysis, I'm not saying to just follow somebody because they'll tell you when to buy and sell, because I try not to do that. I try and just teach people. But these kind of channels are good channels to follow, and being in groups or following like for example me on Twitter, it's probably a good idea to help you out a little bit, to understand where I'm coming from at least. And you can always ask questions if you see me throw out a signal and you don't know why, and I'll gladly explain it. So again, Twitter 2020 Tech Official, Discord group, links in the description. We'd love to see you there. All right, but as you can see, 48,000, very strong resistance. We did not make it, and after that, I mean, we failed the flag here. We sold off, tried to hold at 47 again, did a little bounce, didn't have enough momentum to get back to 48K, and because of that, we sold off pretty hard. So bounced right off that 200 SMA. And if you look here, what's the next stopping point according to the daily time frame SMA? Very clearly, the next stopping point here is going to be the 100, and that sits at about 42,000. So now, if we are looking for the way to look at it is, the more reasons that you find support at a level, the stronger that support becomes. So on the daily time frame, 200 or 100 SMA, 42,000. If I bring up the exponential moving averages again, you can see we also have the 50 moving average on the daily time frame on the EMA at right around that same area, with some other matching resistance supports as well. But there's just a lot of support in this general area with multiple indicators. If I go to the 4-hour time frame, I can also see 200, I believe this is EMA, right at 42,000 again, with more support from other indicators at 43 and 44. So this area is pretty big and significant when it comes to support. Did I hide drawings? Okay, there we go. This area is very significant. So if I'm trying to figure out where we're going to go if we don't hold where we are right now at 45,000 and in reverse, this is the area that I'm looking at from a technical perspective. All right. Can I do some green screens? Cool. Awesome. Can I do some TA on ETH2? Yes, of course. And John says, thanks for the stream. Yeah, absolutely, John. End of quarter sell-off today in the stock market. Ah, okay. Yeah, I've been finding it interesting watching the stock market as well. This doesn't have to do with crypto, guys, and I will get back on topic in just a moment, but I do want to call out some things. So Tesla is going to be having a stock split pretty soon. Within the next couple months, I believe, is the plan. Historically, stock splits for Tesla have been significant and have been very bullish. I've witnessed, I believe, 2 already, and I'm kind of beating myself because I didn't buy and hold when I knew I probably should have. I was just still messing around with my funds in crypto and other stocks. But the thing about Tesla, everyone is extremely bullish on the future of electric vehicles, and especially Tesla with Elon Musk and, you know, just who he is as a person and his companies. So everybody loves Tesla. People love to buy Tesla at discounts. The thing about stock splits is it's a psychological thing. It's like having a pizza and cutting the same pizza into smaller slices. So it makes it easier, you know, an 8-slice pizza, cut it down to 16 slices. You can get the same amount of pizza, but have it in easier to consume, easier to grab slices. And so for people that want in on Tesla, but that look at the share price and they see that a share of Tesla seems so high and it's so much money just to get one share, I have to spend $1,077. Oh my. Well, if they do a 10-to-1 stock split or 5-to-1, I don't remember exactly what it is. Maybe I can pull it up here. Let's see, 20 for 1. That means you're going to be able to buy a share of Tesla at 1/20th of its current price. And yeah, you only have, your share holds 1/20th of the weight, but the thing is, it's that much easier. It's 20 times easier to get a share of Tesla. So what is that going to be? About $50 instead of $1,000 per? Do you know how many more people are going to feel comfortable investing in Tesla? Because you can get 5 shares of Tesla or 4 shares of Tesla for $200. And you just feel better about that, even though your shares don't hold as much, because the average consumer doesn't really care about how much ownership they have of the company. They care about how many shares can they get, and if the value goes up, how much money will they make per share. And so it's a psychological thing that really baits retail traders in. But the reason for me saying any of this is because of that ease of ease of grabability, the price is going to go up significantly after the stock split, because many more retail traders are going to take advantage of the fact that they can now purchase it with their potentially limited buying power and get a couple shares instead of saving up $1,000 and only being able to get one. And I remember the last time that there was a stock split, let's see, I thought that it indicated it here, but the price was about $200 per share post-split. I think it was right around here. And look at where the price has gone. Look at the price movement after the stock split. Just exponential growth. And so I imagine that we're going to see the stock split and see another big move up here towards $2,000-$3,000, the equivalent of that. So I would recommend starting to scale into Tesla before the price gets to $1,200 to $1,500 here over the next couple weeks or couple months, because at that point it's going to be a bit overextended, in my opinion, even with the stock split in mind. Now, if you can catch a dip on Tesla, if this pulls back, because when the stock split was announced, we did see some run up. So if we get a pullback, once the hype starts to fade and you can get a share at like $800 or $900 or even $700, absolutely take advantage of it the closer you can get to $600 or $700, in my opinion. Would definitely be a good buy. And the same goes for Amazon. That's about to split as well. I don't think Amazon's going to run quite as much. It doesn't quite have that hype factor, but you know that Amazon's a solid company, so maybe the same idea. Quick look at Ethereum for for Rafi. Ethereum's really doing the same thing that Bitcoin is. So my feelings on Ethereum are going to be pretty much the same. Now, the thing about Ethereum is Bitcoin, the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum, we have to keep in mind, Bitcoin goes up on two things, really. So catalysts, which is adoption, more countries, companies, and important people making it known that they are accepting Bitcoin as a currency or as a store of value, because that adds more value just to the project. So that's catalyst number one. Catalyst number two is going to be the halving events. So when every couple years it gets much more difficult to mine Bitcoin and less of it gets produced over the same period of time, that increases the value of a Bitcoin because it becomes more scarce. So those two things are the catalysts, and that's really the only two things that can drive up price. Now with Ethereum and other altcoins, their catalysts, there's many more catalysts that can potentially drive up the price. So with Ethereum, for example, same thing, demand, the idea of more people taking ETH seriously, like that catalyst is shared. But then you have additional catalysts because these projects are still under development and continue to improve, unlike Bitcoin, which only gets Bitcoin Lightning Network is really only the thing that was being developed for Bitcoin. Other than that, there's not like a roadmap. Ethereum has Ethereum 2, which is a major overhaul to Ethereum, which moves it from proof of work to proof of stake, which will make gas fees eventually significantly cheaper, which will increase network capacity, amongst other things, and make it much faster and easier to use. So that's a big catalyst for Ethereum, and I think that even though Ethereum, in people's opinion, Ethereum has different competition that some people could argue is in ways better than Ethereum. So we've got things like Solana, things like Cardano's network, so on and so forth. Once ETH2 hits, that argument's going to be hold much less weight because Ethereum's going to be so much better than it is now, and its technical specs are going to better directly compete with its competition. So when you get near equal specs on a platform that already has all the adoption and popularity, suddenly you have a much more popular product. It's like Tesla compared to a Tesla competitor. If, let's just say, Porsche, so we know that the Porsche, what is it, the Turbo S or whatever the new electric model is, I forget the name of it, Taycan or something. If the argument with that is that the Porsche is pretty much just as fast, but it's way more luxurious. Whereas Tesla in the electric vehicle space has the supercharger network, and it has more following in the electric community and a better proven track record. So imagine if Tesla made a luxury electric vehicle that matched the luxuriousness of the Porsche model. And at that point, what advantage does Porsche have over the Tesla? Well, the only advantage that the Tesla had was the luxurious exterior and interior. Tesla had all the other advantages with adoption, supercharger network, track record. So if Tesla can just beat the Porsche in build quality, then obviously Tesla's going to have a significant advantage at that point, because then Porsche doesn't have anything else in its favor. So kind of the same thing here. When ETH2 hits, these other altcoins, I mean, they don't have the NFT network to compete, nor do they have the following to compete. So once ETH2 matches it on a technical level, with the specs being improved and up to date and proof of stake and everything, then I think these guys are really going to take a significant hit. I know that was a lengthy explanation, but I wanted to make sure I was clear there. So I think once ETH2 hits, ETH2 is going to go on another bull run and gain a lot more ground, because the competition will be less significant, and people might even sell their positions here and say, well, maybe I should just jump on the market leader train here, Bitcoin, Ethereum. And so I think ETH2 or Ethereum, even though it's sitting here at 3,000, and even though it's following Bitcoin's price movement on the ups and downs, I think that once ETH2 hits, Ethereum will break away from market structure and stop following Bitcoin so closely, and it will go on a bull run. And if that hits this year, I mean, my price target last year for Ethereum by the end of this year was 10 to 15,000, and I still think it can happen. I'm expecting exponential growth at that point, because it's just too popular, and there's no good competition for it quite yet that's really caught on and become mainstream. So that's my take on Ethereum. But short term, just technical analysis, I mean, there's not much to note here. It did the exact same thing as Bitcoin, 200 SMA, clean rejection, like the cleanest that I've ever seen. You can't get much closer than that. And we're pulling back here. Support levels are looking like, for Ethereum, we're going to see that in between 2,800 and 3,100. So if you're looking for a dip buy, those are going to be your zones. But if you want to match that up to the ones that I'm eyeballing for Bitcoin, it's going to be somewhere in this particular area. So right around 3,000 would be the spot I'd be trying to hit. Obviously, for your own mental reasons, if you want to buy under 3,000, you could probably catch like a 29.50, but that's probably going to be about the best you get. So that's the technical analysis, guys. Of course, let's go to Dogecoin, because that's really what most of us are here for. And Dogecoin's doing just fine. Dogecoin had actually gone all the way up to 15. You can see it didn't hit its EMAs the same way that the others have. Dogecoin recently, I mean, the problem with Doge is its attention is so diluted right now because of all the other altcoins that are either dog themed or meme coins. A lot of the initial Dogecoin following were meme coin investors. And so when these other pump and dump projects come out, they oftentimes sell their altcoin positions in things like Doge and SHIB, and they go temporarily move it to these other projects, hoping to catch a big pump. And then once those things cool off, they move the money back over to things like Doge. So more recently, Dogecoin has been not as strong as some of the other alts, but we did see a nice big move here from somewhere mid 10 cents all the way up to almost 16 cents. We were at about 15 and a half. And then just because of this sell-off with Bitcoin, we saw a pretty big pullback here, about 10% down to 13.9. The dip zone area for Doge, I'm going to say it's probably going to be right around 13 cents. If you can get a buy at about 13 or maybe high 12s, that's probably about the lowest we're going to get. If Bitcoin pulls down to about 42, I'm expecting 12, maybe entertaining the idea of very high 11s, but probably within the 12 to 13 cent area. John says, in my opinion, Bitcoin still likes to follow the stock market. Followed it closely today. Yes, it does. Agreed. Rafi says, do you think Ethereum can overtake Bitcoin in the next 5 to 7 years? Well, to look at that, let's take a look at the market cap here, see how close they are. So as it stands right now, Ethereum is pretty much 50%, I'll just say 45% of Bitcoin's worth market cap wise. That means that without significant movement from Bitcoin, Ethereum would have to double right now in order, a little over double, to actually overtake Bitcoin. I do think that there's a possibility before 2024, which I believe is going to be the next halving event for Bitcoin, where the price will probably increase significantly. There is a chance for what they call the flippening to occur, which is where an altcoin overtakes kind of the market leader. So yes, I think this year or maybe early next year, If Bitcoin hasn't done anything significant and Ethereum 2 hits, we could see Ethereum be the market leader. But I do still think it's going to be temporary because Ethereum, I mean, Bitcoin is a deflationary asset and it's like hyper deflationary. I mean, and on top of that, there's just, I mean, countries adopting it, institutional adoption, and just a lot of things it has in its favor. Whereas Ethereum is primarily retail trader with some institutional, but no like government or country adoption or anything like that. It's just not in the same ballpark. So Ethereum's value has to go up based off the update and how people perceive it, and then also the competition. Bitcoin doesn't really have any competition as a store of value, or just, Bitcoin just doesn't have that kind of competition right now. So many more things against Ethereum, but also there's more catalysts for Ethereum. So, but also Ethereum's not deflationary, so it will always have that against it. Not very deflationary, whereas Bitcoin is deflationary. So the odds are in Bitcoin's favor to stay in number one as far as value is concerned. But I do think temporarily we could see Ethereum flip it over the next 1 to 2 years. I don't know about after that. Yeah, as far as market cap. Yeah, definitely not as far as price per coin, because just due to the difference in circulating supply, there's only 19, as you know, there's only 19 million Bitcoins, but there's 120 million Ethereum. So Bitcoin and Ethereum's price being matched, that would actually mean that Ethereum as a project's worth 10x Bitcoin just because there's 10x the amount of coins. So yeah, I don't see that happening at all whatsoever, but it would be cool, of course. All right, guys, and kind of to just wrap it up here, and thank you all for the questions. I do appreciate it. So what I'm looking at, and here's the thing, we saw this sell-off just off of technicals. If you take a look at the news, there's no significant updates. There's no significant updates in the news. There's not any breaking news regarding Russia and Ukraine. Nothing crazy has happened. In fact, it looks like it's not, even though there's been a lot of rumors saying, oh, it looks like Russia's withdrawing and everything. At the same time, I was just looking at the news for that, and it appears that Russia agreed to open a humanitarian corridor and allow kind of Ukraine to do their thing, which in my opinion just indicates the fact that it's not quite over, because they're giving Ukraine time to do stuff that they need to evacuate people and whatnot. Why would they do that if they were done fighting already? So in my opinion, this is going to continue to go on for a little while, and we may continue to hear bad news. Things still could get worse, but at this point in time, the peak fear, I think, has been reached for what we're going to be seeing over the next couple days or weeks, unless things go nuclear, United States gets involved, people think World War III is going to come. Unless those things happen, I think we've hit peak fear already. So this war isn't so much a negative catalyst anymore that's going to keep making us sell off, unless we hear worse news. That being said, it is probably still holding the markets down a little bit, but I don't think we're going to see a crash again because of it. So this pullback here, in my opinion, has nothing to do with the war, but it's just we hit 48K, which was a strong resistance. People weren't feeling bullish enough to really buy. Everyone wasn't feeling bullish enough to buy and break us through that. At 48,000, there were more people looking to take profit, and so we saw an overall rejection. Now, as far as price levels, just to reiterate, I'm looking at this 200 EMA here first. So Bitcoin right around 45 to 44.5 is where I'm looking as the first stopping point. If it does stop there, we could see another test of 48K. If it does not, I'm looking at that 42 to 43,000 area as the potential buy zone. I don't really think we're going to see prices go below 42,000 unless we get worse news regarding the war, because in my opinion, there's no reason for a significant sell-off to happen with no negative news. In fact, most of the news we've been seeing regarding Bitcoin has been positive. Lots of positive catalysts. Not enough to break us through 48,000 right at this moment, obviously, but more companies adopting Bitcoin, more countries adopting Bitcoin, more people taking it seriously. This is really good long term. And I think as soon as this war ends, we're going to see, once people don't have a good reason to be bearish anymore and they can just focus on the positive news, all these these positive catalysts that have not been weighed in yet and have not been factored into the price, I think will then kick in, and we'll just start a massive bull run back up to 69,000 to 72, and then maybe we'll even see a break of the upper end of this trend channel, which will then spark a more of a parabolic move towards 90 to 100k. And I do foresee that within the next few months, as long as this war is over by then. So that's my opinion. Thank you all for tuning in. May come back tomorrow for another stream or video, depending on if we have more developments. If not, I'll probably catch you guys at some point next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the Discord group in the link below. It is free for a limited time to pop in and read the chat, and then you can join the YouTube channel and become a member if you want to actually ask questions and interact. And then also follow me on Twitter at 2020tech official, or at 2020tech reviews rather. Thanks for the support, everybody. Have a good evening. I'll catch you guys later.